Well, this morning here in Europe, we are all digesting the major sell-off that we saw on Wall Street yesterday. Here's where the three major indices ended up. We closed on the lows, selling accelerating into the close. The Nasdaq ending at 2% lower, the S&P 500 more than 1% lower, and the Dow Industrials Index off about 250 points. It was the tech sector, quite obviously, which drove the losses. Palantir shares off almost 8% in yesterday's trade. Nvidia shares off almost 4%. AMD also trading lower, and Tesla off about 5%. Now, interestingly, we are already seeing some signs of stabilization here in Europe. Here's a look at some of the U.S. tech names. A little bit more selling for Palantir, off 2% in extended trade. Tesla stabilizing, though, this morning. Nvidia shares seem to be stabilizing as well. So will be interesting to see how U.S. markets fare today, whether we see investors move in to buy the dip or whether this is the beginning of a more sustained sell-off. Now, the chief executives of Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley have weighed in on the chances of a market correction following a strong rally this year.
It is likely there'll be, a 10 to 20% drawdown in equity markets sometime in the next 12 to 24 months. And I'd say there are very few people in this room that don't think that that's a meaningful possibility. It doesn't mean that the general direction of capital flows, investment, portfolio allocations changing. It just means things run and then they pull back so people can reassess.
We should also welcome the possibility that there would be drawdowns, 10 to 15% drawdowns that are not driven by some sort of macro cliff effect, just the reality that, for example, metals have really run. I think that's a healthy development, and what we'll be looking to see in 26 is whether the market, in fact, broadens and we see that kind of dispersion.
Palantir CEO Alex Karp hit out at short sellers in an appearance on CNBC, now including famed big short investor Michael Burry after he revealed bets against Nvidia and Palantir in a regulatory filing.
What is going on here is market manipulation. We delivered the best results anyone's ever seen. It's not even clear he's not doing this to get out of his position. I mean, these people, they claim to be ethical, but they're actually shorting one of the great businesses of the world. And I'm not against shorting as a matter of theory, but I'm just saying pick something that is not doing a noble task, and it's us against them.
It's not us against them. People can love good companies, but not like the valuation. I spent my entire career, quarter of a century here, loving companies with rubbish valuations, but not loving the valuation. It's like, I'm sorry, that is just ridiculous. Market manipulation, does that mean every time someone who's got a long position comes on CNBC and spouts it off on both sides of the Atlantic, does that mean that person is market manipulating? I have nothing but respect for the growth story at Palantir, for the amazing proposition that they are giving to the AI world via their software. Nothing but respect for Mr. Karp and his team. But you can't accuse people who think that your valuation at 250 times forward is manipulating if they don't like the valuation. Well, what's the revenue of this company expected to be? I can tell you what it's expected to be, $4.4 billion, and yet it's trading at 3 times the multiple of Nvidia.